They call me Dan, the Lakers fan. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equals. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jack.
What up, Laker family? It is your boy DTLF, back with another breaking news video. You guys already know this by now. I'm a little late to this one because I was at the hospital visiting my brother, present for my brother who had a minor procedure done, and he's going to be there overnight. But yeah, I was there, and my phone blows up as soon as it happens. Of course, it is Shams Charania going off about how the Lakers and 7-footer Christian Koloko have agreed on a deal. Now, agent Calvin Andrews of Clutch Sports says Koloko is expected to have an opportunity for a role in the Lakers front court after he receives clearance from the league's fitness panel. Now, there wasn't too many details with this signing, but there were some for sure. And it's gotten to the point where we're gonna have to figure out what we're going to do with a certain player. But per Dan Wojcicki of Yahoo Sports, he's reporting that Koloko is expected to join the Lakers on a two-way contract, but the team must release one of the three players it currently has signed on a two-way deal. Those three players start with Colin Castleton, Armel Traore, and Blake Heinsohn, three-point sniper. So they have to make a decision. However, everything still is under review because any deal for a player who currently needs approval for a return to play panel needs to be reviewed by the league. So if a player is signed while awaiting approval, that player cannot participate in on-court basketball activities until he is approved. So this is all a process, y'all, but we officially verbally agreed with him and him with us. So that's the good news. We have them. And I want to talk about what this means and who we should cut, as well as I will have a prize picks entries by the end of this video. My own personal entries. This is a big night, man. Mexican Independence Weekend. And I'm very excited for both the Canelo Alvarez fight and also for the UFC event, man, at the Sphere. That's very exciting, man. But good to see y'all, man. Good to see all of y'all. Dante, my boy Dante in here. Die Hard, my brother, and KJ, Joe. Good to see y'all, man. How y'all feeling about this signing, everyone? This is intriguing. Again, Christian Koloko to me, right now, his floor to me is like Ed Davis. Who remembers Ed Davis, who we signed away from the Toronto Raptors, ironically, the first time he came around, and then he ended up in Portland. Plays with a lot of energy, can block some shots, rebound, and can definitely be somewhat of an anchor. Now, he is a clutch client, so there's no way he signs with us unless they had the ins and the outs of how many minutes he will get. Apparently, he's about to have some major minutes here for the Lakers, especially early on in the season, assuming everything goes well and he gets cleared and all of that. But again, my floor for him is Ed Davis. My ceiling, I think, what is he, 22 or 24? One of the two. If they develop him, I do believe he could become like a Serge Ibaka type player. Remember Serge Ibaka in his prime with the Oklahoma City Thunder? Very good player, could also floor space. This kid is still very raw. I will say that. I don't have extreme expectations. I'm just giving you guys kind of my floor, Ed Davis, and my ceiling, which is somebody like a Serge Ibaka. And I think it would fit perfectly alongside an AD if he does pan out. However, there's still a lot of question marks. One, is he fully recovered and fully healed? Two, is he going to be rusty since he's been away from basketball for about half a season? And three, how many minutes and how much PT will JJ Redick give this guy? And what type of role? Is he coming off the bench? Is he going to start at some point? I doubt it. But we definitely love to see it. How y'all feel about it? My guy Blitz says, love to see it, Dan. This is a good pickup, I believe. I believe so too, but it's early. It's really early in the acquisition process. But I like the fact that he chose us. Listen, there's a reason, in my opinion, why the Spurs wanted this young cat. Popovich doesn't go just after anybody, right? The Spurs wanted this cat because they feel he's very good and he has high upside and he's essentially lottery level talent without giving up any picks or any real assets, right? Now, then the other question I have, yes, he is with Clutch as well, Die Hard. Yes, sir. He's with Clutch. And finally, another big yes, sir, Reese. So my thing is, and my question is, who, in fact, Who, in fact, should the Lakers cut from the 3 2-way contracts? Again, Blake Heinsohn is a 6'8", 3-point sniper. So I don't suggest cutting him because we don't have enough of those, period, right? I think it's between Armel Traore, who I really liked in Summer League, showed a lot of energy, a spark, somebody who can block shots, kind of similar to what Koloko would bring, in my opinion. So he could be expendable. Or you get rid of Colin Castleton, who last Summer League, I thought he was supremely impressive. And this Summer League, at least defensively, he was getting cooked. Right? We were covering it over there during Summer League, and we were like, my goodness, man. My goodness. Like, this man is getting cooked. So, that's a good question, Mark. And I would like to know who you guys would like to cut. Chemical, I do appreciate you. Make sure you guys double tap the screen to hit the like button if you're on your phones, or just scroll down to the thumbs up button right under the video. Appreciate you guys while you're here. All right, it says that's a fact on the Spurs' interest. The Spurs, the Clippers, the Raptors were interested in him. Apparently, they only cut him due to health concerns. But now that he's looking healthy, apparently they'd like to get him back. So let's see. You guys would like to cut off Castleton? Okay. I've seen this a lot for sure. Christian Koloko is a legit 7-footer who can jump out the gym. Extremely athletic, can run the floor, can catch lobs, can block shots. He averages a block a game per 13 minutes. If you look at his ESPN stats, that's a really good efficiency. Imagine you double that into 26 minutes. You might get the entire 2 blocks, which would make him an elite rim protector. But again, this guy's always been dripping in potential since college, right? So a very, very good young player, up-and-comer as well. Hey, Court Kings, Chris, what's up, my brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Colin Castleton, you guys think? And again, the Lakers have been extremely coy about what decisions they're going to make. Says we have to cut a certain individual, but it doesn't say who, or they haven't given us a single hint of who they're going to cut. Again, in a sense, I want to give credit to the front office for working behind the scenes and kind of making things happen. But at the same time, I wish it was a little more apparent, and I wish they were a little more, how can you say it, transparent with its fans, right? With us, the fans. But it is what it is. I don't mind deciphering it. This is why channels like mine are here to kind of, figure things out and put the tea leaves together. It's Colin Castleton. I see a lot of people want to cut Colin Castleton. But see, to me, it's kind of recency bias. I'm split on Colin Castleton and Traore. I really like Armel, but if we're getting another big who's kind of an energy guy, but actually has some size, if I had to pick between Koloko and Traore, I'm picking Koloko. For one, because he has already NBA experience under him. For two, because the Raptors actually seem to like this kid before the injury. And three, I like the size better, 7 feet tall, right? And it's kind of a redundant skill set. Like Traore and Koloko aren't both likely to make the team. I actually think Colin Castleton will bring a little something different to the roster than Koloko and Traore. So for those reasons, I'm kind of leaning towards cutting Armel, even though I really like them in Summer League. But we got to keep Blake Heinsohn, that's for sure. So whoever they choose between Castleton and Traore, we got to keep Blake Heinsohn. This guy has proven, well, not proven, because he hasn't done nothing in the league, but as an undrafted rookie, we seem to really hit on those, right? We seem to hit on those type of players, just like we did with Austin and players in the past. So I would hold on to Blake. He showed that he can be a sniper, an elite sniper. There was games when he hit up 4 or 5 threes. So we got to keep it there, right? Colin Gus to go. People really fell out of favor with Colin Castleton, and I do not. And I don't blame them, because Colin Castleton defensively looked like. This dude was food out there. Let's not even mince our words. And that's in Summer League. How will he look during the regular season with more explosive, better players, right? But the one thing I do like about Colin is playmaking abilities and the fact that he can score off the post and he can also floor space. So I do like that from him. Traore is not really a scorer or a playmaker, right? But what Traore is kind of what Tarek Black brought to the Lakers a couple years back, just an energy spark plug guy off the bench. At this point, you kind of have to weigh all your options and see what could be more useful down the line. So that's what they have to do. Colin Castleton, that's tough. Appreciate you, Kimiko. So Colin Castleton can go. So nobody even mentioned Traore. Okay, so we've made up our mind. That's fair. But to be honest, again, What I do like about this young prospect that we're bringing forward, yes, he's a clutch client, obviously. So we called in the favors. But the fact that other teams coveted him, and if you go and you read the comment sections for Raptors fans, you will see that they were extremely high on this kid. Go look at the highlights for Koloko, which all of us Laker fans always do as soon as we sign a player. Even though we know how he plays, some the diehards like us know exactly how he plays. We've seen him before, especially if you have league pass. But it doesn't hurt to rewatch highlights. And if you scroll down and you read the comment section, I'm talking about the highlights from months ago, not the recent ones that Laker fans just posted. You will see how high Raptors fans were on this kid. They were extremely high. Forget about the stats, right? You can see exactly how high they were on him, and for good reason. Again, very explosive, has a lot of potential, especially defensive potential, which is something that I feel like, excuse me, as something that I feel gets undervalued in today's league. Javi, he said, Dan, I still think we need to make a trade. Yes, we most definitely still need to make a trade. That's a fact. But this could definitely help till that happens, right? Oh, yeah, I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait for you guys to join me and the crew over on Playback, and we're going to have a blast watching these Laker games. My guy said, cut Maxwell Lewis. He played worse than Bronny in Vegas, plus he had bad tunnel vision here, Hero Ball. I wouldn't give up on Maxwell Lewis just yet, my friend. I'll tell you why. There's been a lot of raw, talented young players that end up panning out, and this kid has some tools. He's got the athleticism, the explosiveness. He can put the ball on the floor. I do agree that sometimes he got tunnel vision, and his decision making was very questionable in summer league. But that's why you got the coaches we hired to try to work with some of these guys, right? You don't want to get the Play-Doh. You don't want to give up the Play-Doh before you can mold, the player properly, if that makes sense. I don't know if that'll make sense to you guys. Some of us are just way too old. But yeah, look, man, these players are just clay for the molding. And it's only a matter of time before somebody gets their hands on them and they're an artiste. I am bummed out that Phil Handy was let go. I will say that. But again, I really like our coaching staff, our assistants, and everybody. And I want to see what these guys can do with some youth on the roster, especially because the youth is going to get a lot of opportunities. We haven't even talked about how Vando being out early and certain players being out is going to open up an opportunity for our rookie, Dalton Connect, to connect, pun intended, early in the season, right? So it's going to give him a chance to really show what he's got. And so, there's a lot of silver linings to start the year for sure. My guy Chris says, Clippers always interested in players we try to sign always. Yes, they are, unfortunately. But so are the Spurs, and they're very great at evaluating talent as well. And so are the Raptors, who are also great at evaluating talent. Matter of fact, they drafted Koloko. So, yeah. Craziness. Good to see you, girl. She said, it's about damn time we signed another big, right? Right? Absolutely. We need it. Like I mentioned this when I broke down the news of Christian Wood the other day. I said, now the Lakers have to go out and make a move. Let's see what they do. Sure enough, 2 days later, they answered the call, right? They answered the knock, and I can't knock them for that. I just can't. So let's hope that it pans out. It's still a very minimal move. In the grand scheme of things, this move will not make us immediate contenders. This move is not really going to move the needle right away, but this could be a good intermediate to long-term move, and it definitely helps in the front court, right? So it's a move to help us now and really could benefit us in the future, especially if this kid carves out a role for himself. What up, Kay? You say, hey, Dan, can the Lakers make a trade? And trading DLo, getting a scrappy guard with heart and getting a cheap big like Kevon Looney, man, you know what? Josh Hart would be sensational, but I don't think he's going anywhere. That Villanova connection they have over there in New York, second to none, man. They just added another one. They just added another Nova product. So I don't think any of the Nova kids are going anywhere, man. From Dante DiVincenzo to Mikal Bridges to, Jalen Brunson to Josh Hart. I think they're all going to stay put, and rightfully so. It's going to be a lot of fun. Those of you know, the Knicks are my second favorite team in the league, and their fans are very electric, and that's one of the reasons I enjoy watching them. But yeah, I would love a scrappy guard. Marcus Smart comes to mind. We talked about him a couple of nights ago, and if he ever becomes available for whatever reason, God forbid, but let's just say Ja or somebody gets hurt again for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's been out, it seems like 2 years in a row. It has been 2 years in a row. And so God forbid anything like that happens, but if it does, you never know. The tide could change. in our favor, and we could swing a trade for somebody like Marcus Smart, and it could solve a lot of our issues, especially, you know, the big nightmare that I have is that we stay with the same backcourt pair that we currently have. I love Austin. I'd prefer him off the bench unless he has a starting caliber point guard of the magnitude of like a Drew Holiday or a Marcus Smart to go alongside him. Then you can mask some of his defensive deficiencies. DLo, I just do not want him anymore, and I agree with you. I think we should trade him as soon as we can. But, you know, I lost trust in him, and I was very patient with him. I gave him 2 straight years, you know, in the playoffs, and he disappointed me both. So fool me once, you know the saying. Fool me twice, the cliche. 3 times, though, screw the peace sign, bro. We're going to load the chopper, let it rain on you. That's the way that it has to be for Lakers Nation. We gave him too many opportunities. And the same can be said for Vando. We're giving him lots of opportunities, not with his play style or even his jump shot, which are deficiencies sometimes. Because I love him defensively. I think it makes up for a lot of stuff. But your best ability is your availability. And if Vando is hurt again this year, then all bets are off, right? All bets are off for him. He played for U of A. He's a beast. I always like Christian Koloko. I always like wiry, athletic bigs. Heck, I like Jackson Hayes. The only problem I have with Jackson is he's always getting in foul trouble. And so you need more of an insurance policy backup big like a Koloko just in case. But personally, me, I'd start one of the 2 bigs alongside AD and give it a shot. Let's see if anybody can fill in the JaVale McGee role. If you guys remember, JaVale McGee didn't play more than 20 minutes a night, right? Because he had asthma issues, right? So we're not needing a player to come in and drop, you know, a double-double or anything like that. That would be nice. That's not what we need. What we need is a spark plug type player that you could plug in and can, you know, allow and unlock Anthony Davis to roam freely as a power forward and focus more on the offensive end. And defensively, he could be like the free safety back there, just blocking weak side shots and just being an anchor, right, from the weak side. So that's what I would like to see. I don't want him banging down low. We can get more bodies, more big bodies, the better, right? I don't care if we had another big, I'd be happy. Hey, Lakers Avenue. Shout out Lakers Avenue, man. Thanks so much for the support over on Twitter, my guy. Appreciate you, man. If Rob watches, can you please trade Reddish? We need to create a roster spots. Again, it sounds like this is about to be, right, a 2-way contract. That's what it sounds like right now. Nothing is official until Shams or Woj report it. But that's what it sounds like right now. And so if that's the case, we don't need to worry about trading anybody, you know, saying to get a contract off. We don't need to worry about none of that. So, you know, hopefully it's true. I do like the 2-way contract, you know, option. Definitely like that. So. Oh, my God. Wow. I want to say, let's see here. I lost the super chat. I had it in my sights. A lot of comments today, man. We are all very excited for Lakers making moves. That GIF was for my guy right here. Next phase. Appreciate you so much, man. He said, this is sad, DTLF. We're hyping a guy that was out of the league and never averaged 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 block a game. This is a fake hustle by Rob. We're not hyping anybody up. What it is, and I'll tell you this, bro. I'm going to agree to disagree with you on that one. It's more so we are filling a position of need. All summer long, we complained how the Lakers didn't make a single move and didn't get it. Like, we really need to address the big man position. Unfortunately, we didn't do that. However, what this does is it adds a little bit of depth in the front court lineup at the very least. At the most, you might have yourself a real gem. And this is where I say to you guys, man, don't always go based off the stats, because sometimes the stats, look at perfect example, Alex Caruso. This is not a double-double guy. It's not a triple-double guy. It's not a 20-point-per-game guy. This is a single-digit career scoring guard. However, his defense, his defensive prowess, his basketball IQ, playmaking abilities makes him a very coveted piece around the league. And I'll say the same thing for Koloko. I've seen the kid play here and there sparingly. I'm not going to sit here and act like I followed him his whole career and I'm the biggest Koloko fan, like I was Stanley Johnson, right? But I can tell you this. He's a spark plug. He's an energy live wire type who definitely can infuse some energy into the team, whether he comes off the bench or even gets some starter minutes, which I doubt. So, again, appreciate the super chat, but I will respectfully disagree with you there. All I got to say is I do believe the Lakers picked up a nice young prospect. But now that's the key, though. A prospect. And as you can see, he kind of fits in with the mold of what the team is trying to do. They're hiring all these player development coaches. They're going with all this youth. And they're kind of starting to move into the next phase, the post-LeBron AD phase. However, they have to balance that with giving those two guys enough talent around them in order to compete. Right? Now, I'm not saying that this here is the move that, like I said, is going to get us to the championship. So I'm not hyping it, as you said. But I will say I am happy that he chose us because he's a nice prospect. That's where we leave it at. And we'll see what it turns out to. Maybe it'll turn into something. Maybe it'll turn into nothing. But we're trying here. Right? Dan, he was basically Walker Kessler for the Raptors. Sucks offensively, but makes a huge impact defensively. Plus, he's 7 feet tall. Let's hope so, because Walker Kessler is a definite weapon on the defensive end. So let's hope. Again, this guy, very small sample size. You have to also understand, and people look at the stats a little too much. You have to understand that they had tons of bigs in Toronto over the last couple seasons, right? They've had the likes of Precious Adebayo, right? They've had the likes of and they've been trading them or getting rid of them over the last couple of seasons. But, one of them things, it's really exciting when we get prospects like these without having to give up too much, right? Again, don't want to put a lot of pressure on these guys. Don't have too many expectations, but I am excited to see how they will be utilized and developed, this season. Katrina says, hi, Dan. Waiting for you for your take. You called it super, Dan. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Katrina. I will say this. As far as this acquisition, man, these are the moves that I say sometimes Rob hits us with from the left field, because nobody was talking about Christian Koloko this offseason at all. And, sometimes you got to get it where you could fit it, right? That's what she said. But at the same time, you have to be very discreet about the moves you make. And again, this is a move that needed to be made. I don't care what type of big we acquire. Well, actually, I do care. I prefer a defensive-minded big, but we needed the size, period. And it's a legit 7-footer. One thing I will say about basketball fans is we complain about everything, period, myself included. If he's underexperienced, right, we'll complain about that. If he's undersized, we'll complain about that. If he is only putting up 3 points, we'll complain about that. But look at Vandal, though. Vandal doesn't put up big stats either. He's another exemplary player who we can point at when we look at a Koloko. And defensively, he makes the world of an impact when he's healthy. So maybe Koloko could be another one of those type players who can change the dynamics on the defensive end, right? D says, I'm not satisfied, but I won't knock Koloko. I don't like expecting high reward, no risk. This smells like Rambis. High reward, no risk. I would say this is a medium reward, no risk. But you're right. We still need other moves. There's still a lot of question marks on this team, but we got to start somewhere, right? We got to start somewhere, chat. We cannot just go in here and expect us to, well, I actually did this summer, expect us to turn the roster over. But remember, it takes two to tango. Sometimes a trade might not be there, or maybe, they're trying to tax us a little too much, and we need to make little minor moves like this to make us seem less desperate. If we start the season with a big, then we can swing a trade where somebody isn't trying to take advantage of us. What I'm trying to say is this could be the move before the move, right? That sets us up for the future. But for now, it's a good, decent little move, and he's an exciting young player. That's all we can say about him. Just B said, what's good, family? Been busy. Always good to catch your lives. Appreciate you, Just B, man. Listen, we back, baby. This season is going to be very exciting. A lot of coverage coming more than ever here. So make sure you guys stay locked in, and I'm going to keep you guys as informed as possible and bringing a lot of new segments and exciting news and pregame, postgame, and prime time and playback and all that. So stay tuned. And yes, definitely hit the like button. Appreciate you, Kimiko. What's good, man? Hey, nothing much other than the fact that we just got a young, energetic, athletic center, which we have been starving for. And there's not too many in the market, if we're being honest, right? Free agency this year was not kind to us. And so we have to find other means and other ways to make acquisitions. This could be one of them, right? I hope he's actually going to have a role on the team, because it's not this is just fluff. From what I'm hearing, man, he was promised a role, which is why he picked us. That's what I'm hearing, right? That is what I'm hearing. So we'll see what type of role he has. But again, the coaching staff is how much they're impressed by this young man's work ethic, and how efficient he's able to become on, especially on the defensive end. If he can rebound, he's already a huge help. Sometimes you look at players like this and you can say, what is the one thing they bring to the team, to the table? If this kid is a good rebounder, that is a major plus. He'll find himself with some minutes. If he's a great rebounder and a defender, major minutes coming his way. Now, if he becomes a good shot blocker, rebounder, defender, and a lob threat, now you're looking at a nice multi-dimensional player right there. You see? Not everybody in the league is a star, but a lot of players can be stars within their own roles. I know that sounds cliche, but the fact of the matter is there is stars within their own roles. There is. And we know that Vando is that for us. We know Austin is that for us. We know, certain players have been that in the past. So let's do it. Why not? Imagine Miami trades Jimmy back to Minnesota for Cat. Listen, I was actually going to talk about that. You jumped the gun right there, my friend. But there is rumors that, that teams are interested in. Supposedly the Brooklyn Nets are favorites to land Jimmy. I don't know why. That doesn't make sense at all. But, yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler could be on the move, especially if he doesn't get the contract extension he's looking for. So, that's the thing. Let's see. Nima J TV says, hey, Dan, did YouTube ever fix your pay? I remember they were screwing with your account for a while. Actually, no. The monetization on YouTube has become really, how can I say this? It's very dependent on super chats. It's very dependent on likes, very dependent on views. And we get a lot of views during the season. During the summer, it dries up a little bit, but that's fine. We're all interested in Lakers basketball. So when that starts up, the channel does a lot better. Luckily for me, though, Playback TV has become just a nice little, how do I say this, replenisher for what was lacking on this channel. So whenever the monetization lacks here, in order for me to be able to do this, my full-time job, Playback TV has become a big hub for me. And then I'm currently in the works for another sponsorship and some big things coming. So I do appreciate your concern. But yes, YouTube needs to improve their monetization for the content creators, man, because a lot of it depends a lot on your guys' super chats. And I'm very appreciative for the likes and the views as well. And, of course, the sponsorships like Prize Picks. And I will have my promo code is up on the screen, DTLF. So if you guys do want to tap in, $10 deposit gets you guys 50 after you play your first 10. And tonight, we got UFC, we got boxing with Canelo, and I'm going to do a couple of entries. I'm going to do one for tomorrow's games in football, and I'm going to do one for UFC. So stay tuned after the video for that. But appreciate your concern, my guy. Thank you so much, Kimiko. It says Marcus Smart would be amazing. Marcus Smart would be an absolute need for this squadron. I'm telling you, if we can somehow, and I think I've been on Marcus Smart since I heard he was getting traded from Boston potentially. Been a fan of his since his college days. And again, part of me wanted us to draft him over Julius Randle in that draft because we were looking for a guard. And there was actually a couple guards. Zach LaVine was in that draft, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He went 8th. Julius Randle went 7th to the Lakers, and I think Marcus Smart went 6th to the Celtics. And so I was like, man, any of those 3 players would have been good. But, I was leaning towards Marcus because I liked him as a two-way guy coming out of college. DLo, most definitely disappointed in the playoffs. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that, fam. He said, I'd play Cam to go home. We need I'd pay Cam to go home. We need committed players, not paycheck collectors. Marcus Smart would be tremendous. Problem with that is you can't just waive players anymore. Their salary stays on the books, and it's still taking up that space, and it affects you with the first and second apron. So pretty much you'd have to trade the contract away in order to get rid of it, and that might attach you some second round picks maybe to it. We'll see. Maybe 1. I don't think 2. 2 would be a steep price to pay just to offload a player who's on an expiring deal. We'll see. Again, I believe this move gives us a little bit more wiggle room and more breathing space, right? That's what I believe. Savage says, Dan, they talking about Jalen Hood-Schifino a lot. Seems like they think he can carve a role. Hopefully it happens. Again, when Jalen Hood-Schifino got drafted, he had a lot of upside. He looked good in summer league. Guys, he looked pretty solid. Now, his jump shot still has been a struggle. You never want a point guard who can't shoot in today's modern NBA because they'll force him to shoot, especially if he ever plays like in pressure situation games. But I think Jalen Hood-Schifino has a high basketball IQ at the point guard position. I think he's not as athletic. That's the problem. So his ceiling goes down because of that. He doesn't have crazy amount of speed. What he does have is high basketball IQ, and if he ever develops an ability to score and finish around the rim, then maybe something could work out. For now, I have no expectations for Jalen Hood-Schifino. I don't want to be let down by expectations. Let's just wait and see, take a wait and see approach with that kid and hope for the best, because I love young talent. I'm always rooting for the youngsters we have, not only on our roster, but other teams as well. Very exciting to watch. DLo is one of our best trade chips. Let's make something happen. Mr. TD, I do believe D'Angelo Russell will eventually get moved. Most likely, as we get closer to the trade deadline, I'd be pleasantly surprised if we're able to get something good before then. But usually around the trade deadline is when teams start opening up the phone lines and making calls as they're not very satisfied with the results. Either they're buyers or they're sellers, right? So keep an eye out on that. And I got you guys covered all season long. If anything happens, you know where to find me. DLo was never the answer, in my opinion. Should have never went after bro. Well, let's be honest, Shan. Russell Westbrook was an absolute toxicity, and there were rumors that nobody would take him. So the trade was a godsend. Even now, Laker basketball is way more enjoyable to watch than when Westbrook came on. He infected our team like a computer virus, and it spread all across the locker room. There was too much negativity. And I know people love Westbrook and all of that. He's a Hall of Famer, good dude off the court and all that. But he was potentially, if we're talking about pay, if we're talking about pound for pound contract and productivity and what we gave up, this might go down as one of the worst trades, if not the worst, in Lakers history. Think about that. And I believe Russell Westbrook's contract was worse than Kwame's, because Kwame was worse. He was worth less, and we actually got something in return for him that was really good. I believe Russell Westbrook's contract was worse than a lot of even Luol Deng and Mozgov's contract individually. So I do think that that trade was good, because not only did we get DLo, but we got Vando out of it. And at the time, Malik Beasley was a very solid prospect who was one of the three-point shooting percentage-wise leaders, top 10. And even the subsequent year after the Lakers let him go, he had a good year for Milwaukee. He couldn't perform under the bright light. So it wasn't a bad trade on our part. We did end up giving a first-round pick, which hurts, but it's top 4 protected. So that's the good news. But, DLo, the thing about DLo is we gave him another shot. He showed glimpses of maybe, coming into his own. He is an 18-point per game scorer during the regular season, so very serviceable during the year. But, the Lakers, we're all about the playoffs. We're all about championships, and that is where he falters. That is where he cannot operate properly. Stinks, man. What's cracking, bro? He said, DTLF, I'm back, and don't think I forgot about my Lakers family. Always watching and listening to you. Just can't join the chat. More power, my guy. I appreciate that, man. Listen, I know this channel gets really active during the season. It's very exciting. Probably the most exciting Lakers YouTube channel out there during the games, pregame, postgame. We're talking all that. So I do appreciate you guys coming back. Of course, October is around the corner. We got about 18 games left till we get to cover our first preseason game of the season. So very excited. A lot of question marks this year, but always exciting, man. My guy David says start Koloko. Rim blocking. Now, we don't know what type of head coach JJ Redick is going to be. Is he going to be spontaneous and just try things out? Because if he is, then he should try those things out in preseason, see how they work, and then we can go from there. What I don't want is a coach to be confused, because the last couple of seasons, both Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham didn't have set rotations to start the year. They would be tinkering here and there, and then they would start with something completely different in the regular season, then swap it out. So I want the Lakers to find whatever combination in training camp and in preseason and be ready. Be ready, because the league is ready for us, and we've already built some camaraderie. We got a lot of guys coming back that have been together for at least 2 to 3 years now, and that is LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Vando. So we can work off of that. We can work with that. I know some of those guys will be missing early on, but I think it'll be a benefit that we're bringing a lot of the players back, the majority of it. Now, still need some tweaks like we've been talking, right? All right, let's go ahead and scroll down. My guy said, I think Koloko is with Clutch Sports. No? Yes, he is a Clutch client, which explains why we had our pick of the litter. And again, Clutch has been, you might argue that Pelinka still has this job due to Clutch, because Clutch has been able to do a lot of things for the Lakers and give us, some good free agents, guys like Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, guys like that in the past, who were clutch clients, and we got our pick of the litter at first. So, yeah, we'll see. Dan, come on, Koloko isn't even as good as Hayes. I'd rather have Castleton have his make it or break it season. No, I disagree with that. Now, Hayes, we don't know who's better between Koloko or Hayes. They're both still very raw, athletic, talented pieces. My only criticism with Hayes, I love the fact that he rim runs, he's athletic, he can catch lobs, dunk, block shots, all of that. He gets himself into foul trouble, and that in return gets the Lakers into trouble because we get into penalty a lot. Other teams will cash in at the free throw line versus us when those guys are out there. Koloko, haven't seen enough of him to really say who's better, but he flashes a lot of brilliant defensive potential. And I think that's where the Lakers fell in love with his potential and are going to give him. This is really not a risky move at all. We shouldn't criticize it at all because he's going to be on a two-way contract. He's not even taking up an official roster spot. So this isn't the big move that we've been waiting for, but this is a move that we could use, if that makes sense, next phase. So that brings somewhat excitement. It's not you'll know the difference. When I'm really excited about an acquisition, man, I'll be fist pumping, clapping. You guys know me for years now, right? So the thing is, when we make a great acquisition, I know there's something that's going to move the needle. The energy is a lot different. This obviously has question marks around it, but it's moving in the right direction, getting a big man who's athletic, who might have some good defensive potential, and we'll see what that plays out to be, right? We'll see. Have you checked out the Black Myth Wukong game? Looks sick. I have not checked it out yet, bro. I already spent my money on a couple of games. Yeah, I'm saving up for Marvel's Capcom to get the physical copy because those of you guys know that when the Marvel's Capcom games usually drop, they go out of stock and then they don't bring them back. So make sure you guys get your physical copy. I think September 22nd it drops digitally. You can already download and play for sure. Let's see. We need to move DLo and unfortunately Vando. That is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of the fact that we might have to move Vando. One of my favorite defensive players we've had probably since Trevor Ariza. Very good defensive wing who reads the passing lanes, who can be an anchor in the paint sometimes, can help with the rebounding, and has very active hands and is a good positional defensive player. Now, why would I even bring it up, and why would my friend here, Space Entertainment Network, bring it up? Is because of the injuries, right? And if he continues to be injury prone, his value is going to plummet. You're going to end up with a contract that you're going to end up having to give up draft picks to get off of, just to clear cap space for future moves. We don't want that, right? So let's hope he can get it together. That's my best hope. And that, he's able to get stuff together and becomes the player he was when he's healthy again. But I was really excited. You guys remember the game we played the Celtics in Boston last year that we were smoking them because Vando was out there locking everybody up, and then he went down at the half and then we never saw him again for the rest of the season? Do you guys remember just the energy that the team was playing with? Everybody plays better defense. When you have an anchor type player like Vando, I believe he does the same thing that Draymond Green does for the Warriors before our Lakers, and completely different players, but that's besides the point. The point is that both of those guys infuse energy and passion and effort into the team defensively. And you even see guys like Austin Reeves taking charges, getting their hands in passing lanes, jumping the passing lanes properly, reading defensively. You see guys like even DLo was getting active that game. And it's a shame that he went down with an injury and he hasn't been the same since. And we might not have him early in the year. But yes, I think it's time we start having that conversation about trading him, because if he can't be healthy, what's the point of having a guy that talented if he can't stay healthy, right? It's unfortunate. But then again, there's a flip side to that. What if you trade him and he ends up becoming, what we always knew he could become? He ends up adding the corner three. He becomes like a way better defensive version of PJ Tucker. You're going to end up kicking yourself in the head, just like we did by letting Alex Caruso go. So that's something that we have to be smart about. And we can't just trade him to get rid of him. If we're going to trade him, it has to make sense. It has to be the right type of replacement player coming back this way, right? So there is that, guys. There is that. Let's see here. I'll take a couple more questions before we jump into the last segment of the show, which is the prize pick entries. Remember, promo code DTLF will get you $50 with your first $10 deposit. And it'll be very excited to go ahead and play together. I think they have a promo right now, so we'll jump into that in a bit. Let's see here. My guy, Mr. TD, says, I like that Draymond take. Appreciate you, brother. Listen, I've always told you guys that I feel like Vando is an impact player on a defensive end. He might not have a jump shot. He might not finish very well around the basket, but neither does Draymond Green. But the one thing I'll give Draymond credit over Vando is that he's a much better playmaker than Vando, right? And probably a better rebounder as well. But he does get away with a lot of dirty little things where Vando is actually a legit defender. And just his wingspan and his prowess defensively, he can pick up 1 through 5 sometimes, depending on the big man. But most likely 1 through 4, right? 1 through 4. KD, hey, much love, brother. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, my boy. Vando's defense fed families, most definitely. And we all miss Vando. And again, this isn't me hoping we trade Vando. This is me saying that if he's going to continue to get injured, we have to open up our minds to the potential of him getting dealt in the future. Sadly, now, that makes me very sad because we love Vando, man. We even dropped merch on Vando on Court King, so that tells you everything you got to know. We love him. We absolutely love him. And by the way, we have 1,000 people in here watching at the same time. You guys might not be able to see it, but we got some on Twitter because I'm multi-streaming and some on YouTube. Make sure you guys do hit the like and subscribe if you already have not, guys. Definitely helps the channel out. And #1 basketball coverage all year round. So make sure you guys tap in. Got some special additions to the show coming up real soon. If you trade DLo, the player you get back better be better than DLo. DLo is the best shooter on our team. Oh, man, he's the best shooter until the playoffs roll around. See? You see why I'm not that worried about getting rid of DLo? Because what happens when the playoffs come around? Is he still the best shooter, or is he shooting 26% from beyond the arc, right? Beyond the arc. So think about that. Let's see. Shando says, Vando and Draymond can't be compared. I don't think you heard me, Shando. I said I compare them in the sense that they both are impact players and infuse their team with energy and make everybody better defensively. I didn't say I compare their games, right? Because obviously Draymond is a better offensive player. As weird as that sounds, he's not offensive at all, but he's better than Vando. Vando has almost no offensive game outside of like a breakaway dunk or layup. But what I said it is they could both be, and this is a word that's been used a lot this offseason, and that is a defensive hub, right? They can both be kind of an anchor to the team. Or in 2K terms, I think they call it the Hall of Fame badge for the anchor, right? So that is what both of them can be for the team. Now, we all know our best defender is Anthony Davis. We know that. But the spark plug of the team and the heart and soul, I do believe, can be Vando most times when he's out there in the perimeter just wreaking havoc. And also, I see the guards kind of ears perk up and they start playing a lot better. So that's what I meant by that, Shendo. Don't mean their games do not compare at all offensively at all. All right, guys. I think it's time that we head on over to Prize Picks. They do have a promo today. And, of course, my promo is DTLF on your guys' first deposit. Make sure you guys tap in with that to get $50 free to play with. So let me go look at the promo. Make sure here it is. Here it is. So it says $10 MMA protected play. Win or your cash back up to $10. Must opt in. I already did that. So I'm going to go ahead and play now. And let's go to UFC. Man, I have never done a UFC. I'm lying. I've done it off stream. But on stream, I've never done a UFC one. I like the fight time one. Fight time, 8 minutes. So basically, if they last this amount of time, you win. You win, right? So I'm going to say Sugar Shane O'Malley, 23 minutes is a long time to be in an octagon, right? Especially versus Mareb. So I'm going to go less. I think this fight ends a lot quicker. I'm going to go there. Who else? Fight time for this guy. I think I'll go 8 minutes. Well, that's 2 whole rounds. I think they'll last 2 rounds. This will be 3 rounds here. I'll say more. Diego Lopez is an absolute beast, so I'm going to say less on him. And again, this is low risk. This is almost no risk, high reward. So let's go back to significant strikes here, guys. And then I'm going to do a football one as well for you guys that are interested in football. So let's see. All right, let's go to significant strikes. You guys can follow along or enter your own card at your own risk. Here it is. Protected play up. I'm only going to play $5 on it. So let's go with significant strikes. 80 is a lot. I'm going to go with less. All right, I'm gonna play it by ear here. By the way, shout out to listen. Today's Mexican Independence Weekend. Very excited, man. This card right here for MMA, extremely exciting. Sean O'Malley. I think I can't pick him up for two different cards. Let me see. Yeah, I already have him there. Let's go with this guy right here, man. Significant strikes. I'm gonna say less than 80. I'm gonna say less. Again, follow your heart, guys. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the entry. I'm gonna play $5. $5 will get you guys with this exact same card I just played. Will get you $125 if you get all the picks correct. If you miss, you get your $5 back in promo credit funds, which means you could use it for another entry. So it's gonna be my MMA entry right here. And again, just to recap, Sean O'Malley will last less than 23 minutes in fight time. I like that. I think that's going to be a great fight. That's the main event here. I'm going to go more for Ignacio. I'm going to go less for Ronaldo Rodriguez, or should I say more for Ronaldo Rodriguez, more than 12 minutes. Diego Lopez is a beast, man. I think he'll end this fight in less than 12 minutes. Could be wrong, but I think he'll end it by like first or second round. And then Yasmin, I'm going to say less than 80 significant strikes, even though she's a brawler. You know, girls usually don't swing that much. Not this much. Some do. But yeah, I'm gonna say less than 80, and then I'm gonna go less on Maret because I think that fight ends sooner. So let's go ahead and submit that, and that'll be our UFC promo entry. Wait, I guess I can't. I'll come back to that one. No worries. I'll come back to that one for now. Let's go with the football one. You guys know I love the NFL, man. My Rams play tomorrow. Look, they got a promo for the football one as well. Lots of promos on this app. This is the best daily fantasy sports app. Let's start off with Caleb Williams. He's going to get one passing yard for sure. Let's see. Jonathan Taylor, will he get a rushing touchdown? Got one last week. You know what? I'm feeling froggy. I shall leap. All right, who else? CeeDee Lamb, 88.5 receiving yards. He kind of had a weak sauce game the last game, so I think he'll have a badass game this game. Just my opinion. Matthew Stafford, man, this guy's an absolute beast. We just lost. I know my guy Puka is injured, but I still feel like Matt will throw more than 255 yards this week. I don't know why. Call me crazy. I think he will. I want to look at rushing yards for my quarterbacks. Where's my guy? Here he is, Lamar Jackson. This is probably one of the easier picks in the entire situation, all right? So Lamar Jackson, he rushed for over 100 last game. All right, he's going up against obviously he's going up against the Raiders. I do think he'll rush for more than 50 yards. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do one more pick just to have the flex play in there, and let's do rushing yards again. No, you know what? Let's do receiving yards. Receiving yards. I'm gonna go. Where's my guy Cooper Kupp at? I'm gonna go with my heart, guys. Cooper. There he is. Receiving. I don't know about the touchdown though. I'll say receiving yards, longest reception. That's kind of too long. There you go. I'm gonna go no Puka Nakua, so I'm gonna go more than 86 yards. And again, I'm gonna play $5. That'll get you 110. And it has, I think, let's see, revision lineup payouts are different than standards. I believe it is flex play. Double make sure. Yes, it is. So if I get all 6 correct, that or that. So there you go. That is my football entry for the day. And there you guys have it, man. There you guys have the prize picks entries for the day, the UFC one and the football one. Feel free. You guys can play as much as you want. I have always been a low risk, high reward guy when it comes to these daily fantasy things. And again, we definitely got to thank Prize Picks for my sponsorship. Guys, it is a blessing to be represented by such an amazing company. Any final comments, questions, concerns, man? Mexican Independence Day weekend, man. Very excited for tonight's fights. Who you guys got, Canelo or the Puerto Rican kid, man? Who you guys got on the Canelo fight? Of course, I'm going to go Canelo all day, every day, twice on a Saturday. Berlanga, that's his name, Berlanga. That kid to me is too inexperienced. I know he's undefeated and all that. Sounds nice, but we know Canelo is the best fighter in the freaking world right now. Nobody touching my guy Canelo at all. Happy Mexican Independence for you. Appreciate you, bro. My guy, man. My guy. You know what? Maybe after the fights, I'll go on primetime, man. Maybe we can do some gaming to celebrate, man. But yeah, Canelo all day, baby. Appreciate you, my guy, KD. Canelo all day, bro. You know, that's, I think if you put money on that fight, I think that's light work. Now here in California, we can't gamble, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm not gonna put money. We could obviously, place some entries on some props like we did on Prize Picks, but that's not really considered gambling. So, but gotta go with Canelo on this fight. I think he'll probably end it in like 7 to 8 rounds. I really do. I think he'll put him on the canvas. This guy Berlanga was talking a lot. I don't know if you guys saw the press conference. I think he's gonna put him on the canvas. I thought he took it easy on the young fighter he fought last time. And he won't take it easy on this guy because he was talking crazy. If we have a crazy enough fight night, heck, I might pop up and recap it. Most likely not, though. I am with my family. We're about to, snack and have a good time, man. Hopefully, all you guys have a wonderful weekend as well, especially mi raza, man. Happy Mexican Independence Weekend. And hey, I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to hit the like button for your boy one time. Go Lakers, baby. Good acquisition with Koloko. Let's see what we do next, all right? Keep it locked right here. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you already haven't. Tap in with promo code DTLF. And I will catch you guys on the next one. All right. Peace.